But I think it was part of the daughter's journey to let go.
Accepting.
Yeah, you know, because she felt this was her dad saying, yes, I accept your apology for, you know, going to a party behind my back. Saying you were for a sleepover, that was it, but she'd left her bag. So he you know, knew she wasn't doing what she was saying she was doing, so he went and dragged her out of this party. And then they had the car accident. And the last thing the dad said to her, joking, was, "You'll be the death of me." So that was the whole thing. Why she didn't want to let him die, because she was the death of him. That meant she. The daughter had been away how long? You know, 4 years or something. Been living with the dad from 13. You know, she'd lost all those years with her mum, and the mum. You know, I don't know, it's just...
Which is why I kind of thought she was a more likeable character, because I had sympathy for her, because she was kind of this child in a very adult world, and felt like she was responsible for the father and responsible for his, you know, death and all that kind of stuff. Which is why I kind of felt more drawn towards her than Edward, who'd been off in Thailand having his fun.
Because they dealt with so much when they were so young, they were a lot more mature than the age they were. So to have that 18 cut-off isn't right, because you get 18-year-olds
wasn't he? That was his way of coping, as you know. I don't know.
But I thought the children, I felt sorry for both of the children, because when you're reading about it and Edward's paying the bills age 13 or something, and then when the father comes back out of the wilderness, and obviously he's a freak show and he's famous, and then the children become famous, but not necessarily in a good way, and you never hear about the children's friends. Or
from that one girl.
But like the networks, the networks of their lives, that, you know, the day-to-day fabric.
Did you think about Steve Irwin when you were reading it? Because Steve Irwin used to do all that stuff, didn't he? Get the kids out, get the babies out, and crocodiles snapping at them and stuff like that. You know, and it's just like, and the wife's carried on doing it now that he's died. You know, because that's their income. That's how.
Their way of life.
Yeah.
I just thought the father had injured the children, actually, because they'd never had that stability, and the mother does her best, but if your husband disappears into the wilderness for 2 years and you don't know if he's alive or dead, or you'll never know, then what do? And the children are forced forward into being older than they are, and then he comes back and he can't behave normally.
But I think it was the
and
dad
the children
that
are
did
thrown
that.
again.
It was the dad that made them grow up.
But
I think the mum, I don't know, I thought the mum was really weak, actually. I think she relied so heavily on the dad that when he backed off, you know, after he come out of the wilderness, he couldn't deal with human interaction or anything like that. She crumbled and she just buggered off and started a new family. And it's like, you've got 2 kids here.
But that's if your husband comes back from the wilderness after 2 years and then actually would prefer to go and play with the wolves than be with you. Frankly, I'd be a bit miffed.
Yeah, I'd be miffed. He'd still deal with the children, wouldn't he? She just seemed to just give up on the whole
She
thing.
didn't protect the children in a way.
The only thing
and it's
is,
like, do you not expect him to
he
change if he's done something like this?
She should have.
She should have known. You cannot change. You learn something about something that you probably didn't know before. You know, you learn all about the wolves, but at the same time, what keeps your interest is you've got an association there, which is family life and how families stay together or are pulled apart. So I think it's great that, I don't know if I'd have read the whole thing about wolves, but having it in that context where you were learning something new and you're still in a familiar territory of families and what keeps you together and the family dynamic.
I was just going to say about, you know, if you'd seen the programmes as you were growing up, of course they weren't real. So you wouldn't basically I'd have read them because obviously you'd recognise the theme from TV. That's not true.
Well,
that's the thing. If you're having, you know, if you've read a really good book and then you don't know what to read next, should be a good one to read because you know it's going to be a ripping yarn.